Amid high-stakes Alaska summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, a major revelation by Russian leader has put Trump in spotlight. During a joint address, Putin disclosed that U.S.-Russia bilateral trade has risen by 20% in the second term of Donald Trump. The statement shocked many observers, coming at a time when Washington is punishing India and other trade partners with steep tariff for continuing to buy Russian oil and Russian goods. The contradiction has triggered accusations of double standards in U.S. trade policy, with India now facing penalties of 25%, while America's own trade with Moscow quietly expands. The Trump administration, remember, recently imposed additional 25% tariff on Indian exports, Indian goods, doubling the existing tariff to 50%. Washington justified this as pressure on New Delhi to cut oil imports from Russia. But analysts warn that such tariffs could hurt U.S. consumers, it could stoke inflation and also undermine global stability, while also alienating a key Asian ally. And all of this revelation now coming by the way of President Putin pointing that U.S.-Russia trade is rising year on year, while U.S. continues to punish India for tariffs, has now raised pointed questions. Is Washington applying one set of rules for itself and another set of rules for its allies?
Steadily, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade started to grow. It's still very symbolic. Still, we have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration. We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible.
And a major revelation there coming from Vladimir Putin, suggesting that U.S.-Russia trade has grown by 20% after Trump came to power, calling for wider cooperation from President Trump, but at the same time also highlighting the double standards of the U.S., where it continues to impose additional tariffs and penalties for other countries who have trade ties with Russia. That's the big story we'll be tracking at 9 p.m. this evening. U.S.'s double standards when it comes to trade and tariffs. And moving on now, India's partition has always been one of the most painful chapters of our history, and today it has returned to the political battlefield. A new NCERT module released on Partition Horror Remembrance Day has sparked a political storm. It names and blames Jinnah for demanding partition, Congress for accepting it, and Mountbatten for implementing it. The separate module that has been prepared for students from classes 6th to 12th states that partition was not inevitable, but was a result of flawed decisions and divisive thinking. Now, the module described Jinnah as an advocate of Pakistan movement inspired by the ideology of political Islam. It also cites Jawaharlal Nehru's July 1947 speech, where he said, and I quote, "Partition is bad, but the cost of civil war would be far worse." Now, Mahatma Gandhi's remark from 9th of June 1947 prayer meeting are also included, where he said that Congress's acceptance of partition was against his own advice, but he would not oppose it with violence or anger. Now, the move has sparked a political storm. Congress spokesperson Pawan Kheda has said that module should be burned, alleging that partition was in fact a result of nexus between Hindu Mahasabha and the Muslim League. Leaders like Sandeep Dixit have also accused the BJP of misusing NCERT to rewrite history, fueling a fresh debate on how partition should be taught in schools.
इतिहास है। मैं तो आज आपके सामने पूरी एनसीईआरटी को चैलेंज करता हूं। आ जाएं, अकेले मुझसे ही वाद विवाद कर लें किस तरह क्यों पार्टीशन आया, तभी बता देंगे क्या पार्टीशन के कारण थे। भाई, आप हाथ में आज एनसीईआरटी आ गई है, जो चाहे छाप दो, झूठ, फर्जी, फरेब, इतिहास का ई नहीं पता इनको, हिस्ट्री का एच नहीं पता इनको, तो अपना बोलते रहें जो बोलना है, इसका कोई मतलब थोड़ी है। आपको हर सब्जेक्ट को बिल्कुल भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मुखपत्र बना देना तो बनाइए, ये तो बीजेपी और संघ पता नहीं कब से बोलता चला आ रहा है.
And at the same time, the BJP has also hit back now, accusing the Congress party of running away from history when it does not suit them.
खबर आ रही है कि एनसीईआरटी ने जो टेक्स्ट बुक्स हैं उसमें एक बदलाव किया है और बदलाव करके जो विभाजन का कटु सत्य है उसको सम्मिलित किया है अध्ययन के लिए. इस सच को रोकने के लिए और सामने ना आए, सबसे पहले दर्द हुआ है तो राहुल जिन्ना पार्टी को हुआ है. और ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि जिन्ना और राहुल, इनकी सोच एक जैसी और एक दूसरे का पर्याय ये बन चुके हैं. हम सब जानते हैं धर्म के आधार पर अखंड भारत को बांटा गया और उसके बाद जो जहरीली सोच जिन्ना की थी, तुष्टीकरण, सांप्रदायिक, वही सोच आज नकली गांधी, राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी में दिखाई देती है.
मैं बोलूंगा कि एनसीईआरटी में ये किताब को शामिल करना चाहिए. मुस्लिम्स अगेन पार्टीशन बाय शम्सुल इस्लाम शामिल करिए उस किताब में, पढ़ाइए कौन था. और ये बार बार जो झूठ बोला जाता है ना पार्टीशन के बारे में, अरे भाई उस वक्त कितने मुसलमानों को वोट डालने का इख्तियार था? 2 या 3% को भी नहीं था जो इनकम टैक्स दे सकता था, जिसके पास जमीन थी या कोई कंडीशंस थे. मोर देन 90% करीब मुसलमान तो वोट ही नहीं डाल सकते. ये तो पूरे एलिटिस्ट राजा रजवाड़े बोलिए या जमींदार बोलिए, उन लोगों को इख्तियार था. शम्सुल इस्लाम किताब को शामिल करिए आप, मुस्लिम अगेन पार्टीशन बताइए. और पार्टीशन से आज हमारे को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं. हम कैसे जिम्मेदार हैं उसके मुसलमान?
Needless to say that new module has triggered a massive political storm. Joining us on the show is Charu Pragya, spokesperson for the BJP. Also with us is Wing Commander Anuma Acharya, spokesperson for the Congress Party, as well as Professor C.B. Sharma. He's an educationist. Thank you very much for all of you for taking time out. Professor, I want to come to you first. Now that we know that this has become a war of narrative, in your assessment, what was the guiding principle for these modules? Was it purely academic rigor, or there's more to it than meets the eye?
Let me start by saying that we revise curriculum from time to time depending upon the developments in information and also developments in the other spheres of life. I believe to call that the Congress was responsible for anything, don't forget Congress was not a political party before 1947. So it will be wrong to say Congress political party. Congress was an organization of all those people. 1, 2. Some new facts have come to light. Was jizya not a reality? Were temples not burnt? And what somebody mentioned, jo chahe chhap do. Should I go into the making of curriculum and curriculum design of NCERT right from beginning? Who were the people selected initially to write the history books and other books? Now, my contention would be, don't make it a political war, make it a war of facts. Did we hide facts when we initially started by writing textbooks? We did. I don't know for what reason. The people who were selected initially were from a particular political ideology, and they were given this assignment to write, and they wrote a partitioned history books and other books. Who would deny that
Professor
our
Sharma,
children must know?
I have to ask a pointed question. In your professional opinion, are these modules factually correct?
Yes, I would definitely say they are factually correct, because initially when we wrote textbooks, we hit certain facts and we distorted facts, and we were not happy about it. We were shouting about it, but then, as it is said, jo chahe man chhap lo, NCERT was in the hands of certain people who belonged to a political ideology, and they did not let all views of curriculum and history come into light.
All right. Anuma Acharya, I think you heard Professor Sharma there. He's saying that it appeared prior to this, NCERT was being run by some section of the people who had one political ideology, and what is in the modules is in fact factually correct. So where's the problem?
The problem starts with the disclaimer by NCERT itself, who says that this is not to blame somebody in the past. It starts from there. Why NCERT is apologetic? That is my first question. If you see that disclaimer in which they have written this very clearly, that we are
because
just
maybe they
writing, giving out
anticipated this kind of uproar. Maybe they anticipated that people from the Congress party are not going to be very happy about it.
It's not that. It's because NCERT was established as an autonomous body in 1961, and it was meant to upgrade the education standards. Basically, after research and proper development, they were supposed to be bringing everything to the syllabus. Now, if you see, this government has completed just 11 years. Where is the time for all researches which happened earlier? So if you are changing something against something else, like everyone knows, the two-nation theory was propagated by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, which was like evident. It was published in the newspapers of the time. Don't say that the newspaper of the time of the British, at that time, whatever newspapers were published, they were all fake. They were all not correct. See, whatever happens today's date around us, like whatever news you are bringing out or whatever we are discussing what is happening today. It is not for a narrative for a later date. So we have to understand this very clearly, that whatever was written earlier, if you research, because there used to be a history congress, they used to discuss matters. Now no discussions take place. One side of the story goes on, and whatever they do is happening because they have their...
Right. Wing Commander Anuma, I think let's stick to the module for now. Charu Pragya, I think the accusation
I'm
of
talking about that only.
Right, ma'am, I'll come back to you. Charu Pragya, I think one of the accusations right now Congress party is levelling on the BJP is that you are selectively adding to the history books. History has always been kind and fair and has always been correct. What was a part of NCERT books from the beginning, you're trying to rejig history and you're making it perhaps favorable to you going forward.
Shweta, good evening. Indian history and the story of India is far more than just 300 years of the Mughal rule. It is far more than that. There are thousands of years of civilizational, cultural, and stories of Indian heroes that our young need to know today. And this is exactly what NCERT has been focusing on doing with the new education policy. Our children need to inherit India's stories with context, with pride, and without colonial baggage. And this is something that I say with a lot of pride and a lot of conviction. If you have a problem with any certain syllabus or a chapter or a line in any textbook, why don't you take it to court? Because I assure you, when something is printed in a textbook to be sent across the length and breadth of the country, it is done with utmost research, with full seriousness, and understanding the consequences of printing something wrong. So I challenge the Congress party today. If you're calling something in these textbooks wrong, please take it to court. There are numerous instances I could list out to you where this has happened and syllabus has been altered minorly, because people have objected to what is written in the books. See, the important thing here is, Shweta, and the viewers also understand this, is that the children of today are not going to be growing up with the stories the Britishers passed down to us. We have our own history. There were horrors of the partition that India needs to recognize. If we forget the lessons from the past, we might repeat the mistakes in the future. This is exactly what the government is trying to do. I'm a mother to a son who's in 11th standard, and for a lot of years, I have understood that so much that he was studying in school, especially in his history textbooks, was not civilizationally sound. India is so much more, like I said, than just one NCERT textbook, and our textbooks need to reflect that. Remember the time when we were in school, and then after we grew up, we came across so many stories and texts and additional books that added to our knowledge. Why can't our children not get that in school?
Understood. So let me go back to Anuma Acharya.
Anuma, let me quickly add one more thing, Shweta, if you allow me.
Right. Yes, Pragya.
You know, infamously, The schools in Great Britain do not teach about Britain's history of colonization. They do not mention that at all. The young in Britain grow up without understanding the atrocities that their country has committed on other countries, especially in the southern hemisphere. So come on, let us not be victims of the same mindset.
I can attest to that. I have studied partly from that country, and I can attest to that they're not really aware of what they did to countries such as ours. Anuma Acharya, if facts are being quoted as facts, and for example, the module, and I'd like to quote the module to you, it cites Jawaharlal Nehru's 1947 speech where he said partition is bad, but the cost of civil war would be far worse. But at the same time also allowed, partition to happen. These are facts. How can you question facts?
Look, my point is very clear that if you are not in that era, you do not know what constraints were there at that time. But here we see Prime Minister speaking from the Red Fort and talking about RSS and propagating that it was a nationalist organization. Nobody knows that they have ever participated in the National Freedom Movement, that everyone knows. Now, we also know that Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, who has told Bengal governor that we are going to curb this non-cooperation movement. Everyone knows this. These are the facts which has happened. And when it is happening around you, at that time somebody is jotting it down, not that for a later date. So my point here is why NCERT is, one is they are apologetic about changing it. Secondly, we all of us know there is no one from the RSS, like when Mr. Hedgewar's chapter was introduced, why was that introduced in the Karnataka syllabus? We have to understand that all of it is a part of only narrative, a narrative building, and basically the country is watching this, and people are not going to accept this.
Your party was in power. But I have to say, your party was in power for 60 years, 6 decades, and this is exactly what Professor Sharma is saying, that during your reign.
I don't know if you're married. If you get married at that time, first you build up your house. You don't start making a jealousy from the next door neighbor. You just build up one by one things you buy, and then you do it. So at that time, there was nobody to, think ahead ki it's going to change like this. But now this is wherein the BJP has bought the country, which is a full-fledged country. They are changing everything.
Ma'am, it's been a full-fledged country now for 79 years. It's been a full-fledged independent country now for good 79 years, of which about 6 decades Congress party was ruling.
Research, Shweta.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the research? Who will tell about the research? It is against you were wrong and I am right.
No.
It is against what? Where is the research?
Ma'am, these are educationists. They are rigorous in their ways. They do enough and more research, and I'm not sure Professor Sharma would be very happy to know that you are saying that he did not do his research. I'm not sure NCERT professors would be very happy to know that. But it's a debate.
All the educationists who have been the part of these things and who have not been the part of this. There are so many people who are talking about that. It is like 11 years, 10 years, there has not been any research. The educational policy has come just 2020. So in 5 years, you have decided that this is all, whatever was written was incorrect.
Okay.
It is a part of narrative.
All right. I think it's.
And that is what
you've made a lot of allegations as well as key points. I am unfortunately having to.
And what everybody, 3 of you are saying is correct.
Ma'am, I'm not with anybody here. I can assure you, I am not on anybody's side here. I'm on the side of truth.